Maria Caulfield is the Conservative MP for Lewis, and she joins me now. I mean, we've seen a lot of chopping and changing, haven't we, Maria?
Yeah, no, it's been a very unsettling time for everyone, for the public, for politics as a whole. It's very difficult to get things done when there's such a constant churn. And, I'm very sorry to my constituents in particular that, we've had this really since the summer. And, I'm hoping we can draw a line under it now and we can get on with the day job of running the country, because we need to at this particular time.
Totally agree. And I think that's why people are so frustrated, because people can see their mortgage repayments going up. They can see just how expensive it is even to go and do the weekly supermarket shop. Do you know what I mean? Every week I'm amazed by how much stuff's gone up again. People struggling to pay their energy bills, and yet we look to Westminster, to the people who are supposed to be in charge, and it looks like chaos.
Yeah, and markets in particular, which affect our, the prices in our shops, our wages, interest rates, mortgage, all of those things are affected by instability. And so when we have a period of stability, and I think markets have reacted really positively already to Rishi coming in, that has to be a good thing. What will unsettle them even further are the talks of a general election, because people absolutely desperately need to know certainty about whether it's fiscal policy, whether it's about government policy, and particularly over the winter months, where we know there's huge pressure on our energy supplies and huge kind of a rise in energy prices. The stability that just having a period of calm would bring would benefit all of us.
I suppose the question some people might have, though, Maria, is why haven't we had that stability? Whose fault is that? We know because Liz Truss has admitted that she messed up. She said sorry. She said the mini budget was a mistake. And I think some people feel that the Conservatives should pay for that mistake, because at the moment they feel it's normal people who are paying.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I put my hand up and said, I'm very sorry that we're in this situation. But, I was on Rishi's team when he stood the first time, and we did warn, and I don't want to be, someone, the Captain Hindsight, but we did warn that just suddenly shaking the market by announcing tax cuts that we'd have to borrow to pay for would have an effect on the markets, would have an effect on interest rates. And that's why we really urgently cautioned against that. And I'm really dreadfully sorry that we were right about that, but we were, and now we need to fix that and get a period of stability for people, so that we're already seeing that interest rates are starting to calm down. We know that from forecasts, energy prices are set to start to drop in the spring, and so we need to get people through this winter. There's a huge financial package on the table for households. That £400 is coming through this month for people's energy bills. We've got the energy price guarantee. We've got pensioners getting their extra winter fuel allowance this winter. So our priority is getting people through this difficult time, which was always on the cards, but the political instability hasn't helped.
No. Was Rishi always your first choice? Because I know that, you have in the past been a big fan of Boris Johnson. I mean, do you think that was the right decision by him to pull out of the leadership race?
Well, I was on Rishi's team for the first time. He's done a huge amount for New Haven. He gave us over £50 million in levelling up money to regenerate the town, and, will make a huge difference there. But I think Boris, he obviously did have the numbers because they were confirmed yesterday by the 1922 committee, but he didn't feel that if he was successful, he'd be able to bring the party together. And I think, as I've said, what we desperately need is, to all come together and get through the winter months, which are going to be very tricky for all of us. We need to get through that period and draw a line under the instability, that has happened, which has not helped our current situation.
I know there was a feeling that maybe one of the reasons why some Tory MPs wanted Boris is that they see him as a winner and they were worried about their jobs. I mean, do you think your job is safer now under Rishi than it would have been under Boris at the next general election?
Well, my seat has always been marginal. I was never predicted to win it in 2015, and every election since I've always been predicted to lose. So, that's the life a politician leads. But this is about the good of the country. We know that how fragile the markets are at the moment, and any sign of instability, whether it was that mini budget, whether it's a change of prime minister, whether it's rumours of a general election, they all have an effect. And what will bring us, every household in the country, some certainty will be just getting on with the good job. We've got the fiscal statement on the 31st of October, and people want to know what's happening with the triple lock pension, with benefits, what interest rates are likely to look like in the spring. And the only way we can do that is to get back to the day job of running the country.
What is Rishi Sunak like as a person? I mean, I was saying earlier, you can read all about, his policies, you can read about his, political ideologies, but what is he like as a man? Obviously, you've met him a number of times.
Yeah, I mean, he's a very, decent man and always wants to do the right thing. And what I really like about Rishi, and in his speech to us after he won yesterday, it was about, being very honest and open with people. He's not afraid to say the difficult messages. We saw that during COVID when he had a huge package of support, but was very clear he couldn't help everyone. So he's not going to be one of these politicians that promises the earth and then can't deliver. He will say, the hard truths to people, but will really do his best to help as many people as he can. And he's got a really good ability of listening to all sides and then coming to a conclusion himself. And so I think people will see someone who isn't divisive, who isn't flashy or showy, who just gets his head down and is a really hard worker.
Maria, thank you for your time. Maria Caulfield, their Conservative MP for Lewis.